Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sabythesimmer, aka Sabythesimmer. I swear every time I come to do a voiceover my voice just plays up. It was fine. I haven't even really spoken today, so what's happening to my voice I don't even know. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday. Today we've got another speed build and I've decided to do student housing because one of the households that I'm playing with, I want them to go to university, so I decided to just build university housing, and then I thought I would show you guys what I did. So it is a quick one because near the end I just copied rooms and like switched things up, so it was pretty quick to put together. I don't have a reference image for this build because if I'm honest, I struggled with builds and the floor plan at first. I went through several different types of homes and it was just a struggle, I think, because it is a 20 by 15 lot. So in the end I just went with a townhouse because one pretty much just fits into the world of Britechester, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I am in the world of Britechester. This is on the 20 by 15 lot. I forgot what the lot was actually called. It's probably on a screen, but I can't see it. It's quite a small screen I'm working from, so I can't see from where I am. But yeah, it is just the 20 by 15 lot. I did recently build on this. I think the last speed build, actually Tuesday's video, I built on this exact same lot. But it was a really pretty lot. It is Britechester. I tried to decorate it so it's not specifically for one university, but I can imagine this is probably more Britechester than Foxbury, just based on the fact that it's very traditional kind of looking in terms of the townhouse style. In terms of the exterior, the interior is pretty modern, simple, minimalistic kind of thing. And I kept it that way because if you're going to have students living there, then I want them to kind of personalize the place depending on, you know, their personalities and what they want their rooms to look like and things like that. So I kind of kept it minimal and like open so that they can add their own things and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, pretty easy to put the structure together. A townhouse is generally just like boxes on top of boxes. It's just pretty easy to put together. There's 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You have to have 4 bedrooms with the university housing, so like you have some requirements, and I think it's just like a toilet, a sink, and 4 beds. So you could live the struggle life if you wanted to and have just 4 beds in a room and a toilet and a sink, and you'd meet the requirements. And I'm pretty sure the accommodation itself would be pretty cheap. But fun fact, Discover University was actually the first pack that I bought, and I actually bought it full price as well. I know, shocking. But I was just excited to buy a pack, so I was just excited to play the game and add more to my game. And I don't think really at the time that I was really watching many other simmers. I think I was, but I don't think I watched any videos on like what packs people recommend. So I think I just went for university because one, it was just something different to do. It was like an add-on, because I think when you just have base game, there's not much you can do or much places you can go, and especially when you're a young adult, it's just like straight to work and it's kind of like boring. And I liked the idea of going to university, studying something, having that kind of uni life, having a bit of fun. And when I do play university, I always play on long lifespan, because that way by the time they graduate and they finish university, they still have some of the young adult life span left, so then they're not just spending the whole young adulthood in university and then they get to an adult and then before they know it, they're an elder just with a degree. So yeah, I always play a long lifespan, so I'm gonna switch a long lifespan on the household that I'm playing with when I bring them to university. But yeah, I have no idea whether I'm gonna get them to study. I can't remember what skills I tried to get them to build up on, but I think in terms of university, I've played for it a few times and I still think it's one of my favorite packs. Yeah, I can say for sure it's one of my favorite packs. It's just something extra to do. It's fun. I think the pack works pretty well. I don't really have any problems with it most of the time. So yeah, I like it. It's one of my favorites for sure. And it is a bit of a pricey build. I don't know how they work out the prices for like how much you pay when you stay here as like a student. So I'm not sure if this is going to be really expensive or pretty okay. Like, I'm not actually sure. I could have tested it out, but I'd have to do cheats and all that kind of stuff. And if I'm honest, I was a bit too lazy to do that. So it is coming in at 237 simoleons. So it's a pricey build in itself. It's definitely not a starter build, so I don't actually remember how the prices work for university in terms of like if you was to go to a different housing setup, then you know, I don't actually know how much it would actually cost. But anyway, let me stop waffling. I loved using debug for this build. I used a lot of the debug for the kind of like ivy crawling up and also the fence at the front. I really struggled with the landscape and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to keep it simple because these are young adults. They're not going to be wanting to upkeep the landscaping around it, so I didn't want to make it look really lush and everything like that and make it seem like they had a lot of work to do, because they wouldn't do it. So I just ended up kind of going with a general kind of like a little bit of landscaping at the front, and then in the 2 areas at the front where I kind of like sectioned out the 2 patches of dirt, I've just put in some flowers and stuff in there. I don't know, but I was just thinking it's not really their responsibility to keep up with the landscaping. I think it's just one of those things that it just is what it is. So I kept it simple for that reason in mind, of just like the students are not going to want to do gardening. I was tempted to put some gardening like pots in there, but I just felt like, I don't know, I wanted to keep it simple so that if you wanted to download this build and you have students in mind of who you want to live here, then you can just like add onto this build as you please. So if your student is, I don't even know if you can study something like gardening or something, I don't know, but if your student is studying gardening, then maybe you can put some plant pots in the garden, and that kind of adds to them building up that skill whilst they're in university. The only thing with university is it does take up a lot of time. Like before you know it, like they have no time to do anything fun. So I kind of felt like I wanted the house to be somewhere where you could invite people around. So like even if you weren't out socializing, you could have people around. So the garden is a good space to have people around. There's like a picnic table. There's a speaker out there. Will probably break if it rains. Yeah, but I don't know where else to put it, to be honest. Like it's quite a small area on the first floor. The living room, kitchen, dining area is pretty small, so I didn't think there was much space to put like a speaker in there and have Sims dance there. So I kind of felt like they would probably be more outside. But yeah, in the garden was, what else did I also put in? Oh, and I also put some of the university like chairs as well. Again, I didn't make the specific for Britechester or Foxbury, but now I'm thinking about it, I probably could have just done this as a Britechester student accommodation house. I think it would have made sense, just because it's literally in the world of Britechester. It's right next to where the Britechester campus is anyway, so it kind of makes sense if it was just part of the same thing. I'm kind of surprised why we don't have a bit more of a split up. Like, I just wish Foxbury was like, Foxbury, the area of Foxbury is really, really, really nice. Generally, Britechester, the whole world is really pretty. But I'm just like, I really wish we could explore more and have more lots there. I get it, like it's meant to just be for university. It's not really like a live-in world. But if I could, I would live in Britechester. Like I'd have Sims live in Britechester all the time. And I have got my Family Dynamics family living there, but I would love to just live around. Like if you go to the Foxbury area and you go to like the where the student accommodation is, I think like student housing or whatever it is, like it's kind of separate from the campus. The kind of, what do you call it, like the shell builds around it, they look so nice, and I really, 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 really wish that those were houses that we could live in, or we could actually like build on that neighborhood and like build our own homes, because I think the world looks really pretty, and I think the builds look really cool as well. So yeah, bit of a shame about that one, but it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. So I've pretty much done the outside landscaping, and there was a lot I had to cut out because I was in debug so much, figuring out what the landscaping was going to look like. Put some flower boxes on the windows. I think that made the house look really, really cute. So I really like the way that turned out. And then I just used the terrain paints to kind of create a bit of a stone pathway essentially, and I put the stone in the garden as well, because I just imagine that they wouldn't want to keep mowing the lawn and things like that. So I just went with like, I like a bit of realism when I think about things when I build. So yeah, in my mind I was like, they're uni students, why would they want to mow the lawn? So I just put stone down and a bit of landscaping as well. Again, it's kind of similar to what was in the front, so they could be really easily kept by just literally the rain, and like as long as they didn't get drunk and trampled all over it it would be fine. I also put a keg in the garden as well. I forgot about that, but I did put a keg out there because it's university. Where else would I, what else would I put in a garden? It has to have a keg, I think, because it would just make sense. And I don't play with that object enough, but I think when I get my Sim to live in this student accommodation, I'm gonna actually get him to play around with more of the objects and more of the things that get my Sims to have more fun, instead of just being fully like immersed in the university. My mind went blank then. I think also what I do as well, I have my Sims literally take as in all the classes that they can take each term. So I guess that doesn't help. That means that they don't have a lot of fun. But then I just feel like then they spend way too long in university. I'd rather them have 3 terms and then they finish, as opposed to like, I have to keep going back because they're doing like 2 courses at a time. It's just not fun. No, it's not fun. I think if they could change anything with the pack, I think that would make it slightly shorter. The length of university slightly shorter, so that when you leave you still have some of your young adult life left. But again, I just play in long lifespans, so that normally helps. But I'm pretty much talking through the kitchen and dining area right now. I kept it really simple. Again, because there's 4 beds, I just put 4 chairs around the dining table. I kind of use those like fold up chairs that feel a bit like they just fold away somewhere and you can just put them in a cupboard. I felt that was a bit fitting just for a university housing where young people are going to be staying. I don't think aesthetics is a big, like, I don't know. I feel like aesthetics wouldn't be a big focus, but at the same time I wanted it to look fresh, cute, and kind of just simple, laid back as well. I used a lot of Dream Home Decorator. I didn't limit the packs I was using, but I feel like I used a lot of Dream Home Decorator and like University and just like some of the base game stuff. I feel like the Dream Home Decorator makes it look very much like they bought a bunch of stuff from IKEA and then put it all together, especially the units that I put in the bedrooms. I had a picture that I saw and I was like, okay, I love the idea of like a wall just being full of like this kind of modular set, and then you have the bed, you have your desk. I just like the idea of that. It felt realistic. I didn't go to university, so I don't know firsthand what university accommodation is like, but from photos and just from like watching things and things like that, I feel like I have an idea of sometimes it's very just simple, basic, and kind of clean and simple, so that you can kind of put your own spin on it. Kind of struggled with the layout of the living area, but I got there in the end. I got a bookshelf and TV in there. I just wanted a small one. I don't need a plasma TV in here. And I also just felt like maybe they wouldn't always watch TV. Maybe they'd be out doing things or going places. So it just made sense to do a small TV in the living room. So I used the modular, not the modular, is it called a modular? The sectional, that's it, the sectional sofa. I used that in the living area as well. Only a small selection of seats, but again, I don't know if they would spend a lot of time in the living room watching TV. And because of the way university is, depending on your course, it's at different times. So I can't imagine it would all be home at the same time all the time. So yeah, that's what I had in mind, that it would just be there for when you want to chill and watch TV. But if you had other things to do, you could. The bedroom, I left pretty simple and basic, because if you're going to university, you're probably going to want to personalize your room. So I didn't want to personalize it too much and then make it too specific for a certain sim, and then your sim doesn't actually fit into that aesthetical, the vibe of the room. So I just left it pretty simple. I do what I normally do. I kind of color code rooms. So the bedrooms all have their own kind of separate color based on the beds. The bedspread, I went with the Dream Home Decorator bed, and because I just felt like it would match in better with the other furniture that I used from Dream Home Decorator, which it does. So I just used that, and I kept it really simple. They've got a desk, they've got a dresser, they've got a bed, and then they've got a little bit of clutter on the desks. Just something that I felt would be generic, or that could be there anyway. So I go with this like grey and blue theme for the kitchen dining area, and then with the living room I go with this like dark wood and that like sagey green color for the living room. I don't know why I do that. Like, I've noticed other people might do it as well. They color code things. I think it's just a way to organize things or to work on how certain aesthetics might look. But that's just the way I work on things. Like, when I do a room, I just have to color code things or like have it all match, essentially. I find it really hard to do things that don't match. I find it just easier to just match everything, but I don't realize that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, I just went with a simple rug. I love that rug. I think it is the university rug as well, but it's one of my favorite rugs. I use it so much. All the stuff I put on the living room wall, I move or change. I take the posters away, and then that notice board goes in the hallways upstairs, because there's 2 extra floors upstairs. So, because it is a 3-story house, and at first the layout was a mess, but I think I figured it out. It's probably quite a long hallway. I don't know if the space could be utilized more or better, but I also kind of think a lot of the a lot of the courses that you do in university, you have to do presentations. So the hallway leaves you enough space to like put your presentation board there, and then do go like work on your presentation if your room is a bit smaller. Because some of the rooms are like, I don't even know what the tile space is, but there are 2 rooms that are slightly bigger than the other, maybe by 2 or 1 square. Or tile, sorry. So I think the one I'm doing now is the one that's slightly bigger, is it? No, this is, oh, now I'm confused. I think this is the smaller one. Yeah. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think it's 4 wide, and then like, maybe it's 4 by 4 or 4 by 5 maybe? I don't know. That one is the smaller one, and then the other big one I just added slight more like, what do you call it? Storage in it. That's what I added. Whereas the other rooms, and then by the time I got to the 2nd floor, I just thought I can copy and paste the rooms, change up the swatches, and that's what I did. So It's a very quick video. So you only see me really furnish the first 2 rooms, and then the other 2 rooms I just like tweak the colors and shades of. So I've got a pink room, like that pastely pink room. I've got like a yellowy orange room. There's a green room and a blue room. So it doesn't have to be gender specific. I think the pink one is probably the only one that's a bit too like girly or like cutesy, whereas the other ones I feel are kind of pretty much just like generic. And I also put like the pets calendar on the wall. I just thought that was a cute touch, because I can imagine like if you was coming to university, you need to be aware of all the dates and stuff. And because I also already put that university like that whiteboard with like the pens and stuff, that one from university, I'm pretty sure it's university. I put that one in the kitchen because maybe it's like dates that they all need to be aware of, or like I don't know, I just felt like it'd be useful to have a notice board somewhere in the house. So I did that in the kitchen, and then in the bedrooms I just used a like cork board, because then they can put their own notes and stuff up there. And then also the calendar, I had in mind that they could mark the calendar for their specific dates, like exam dates and all that kind of stuff. That's just what I had in mind anyway. Again, I didn't go to university, so I'm just assuming this is stuff you would have in your room, you know, the generic bits and bobs that you would need. I just realized I didn't put down like pens and pencils and stuff, but I think that's fine. I don't think they're gonna miss it if I don't put them down. So with the slightly larger room, I think it's probably like 2 tiles, like I said, slightly larger. I did actually use the dream home decorator, like dressed up with the hanging clothes. I used that because I just felt like it needed, like, I think it helps to add a bit more shape and changes up the room slightly, instead of it just being all against the wall, all flat and all that kind of stuff. So slightly changed it, ever so slightly. But I don't know how many packs I did use. I didn't check that actually, but I don't think I used that many. I say that, but then I'll look at it and be like, oh, where did I use Dine Out? Where did I use, I think this was one of the builds where I looked at it on the gallery and I was like, where did I use Dine Out? Like, it is so weird to think of like the packs that you use for certain builds and you don't really realize that you're using them, because I'm just like, what's in Dine Out that I used in a student accommodation house? Like, I really want to know what I used, because I don't remember what I did use. I don't know if you can adopt pets when you're in university, because I only recently got cats or dogs and I haven't been to university in a while in the game, so I don't know if you can adopt pets. Could it be cute to have like an on-campus kind of pet? But at the same time, would you even have enough time to look after it? Especially if it was a dog, you have to go on walks. Would you even have time to walk it? Probably not. Probably not. I do regret, in the like orangey room, I used the same rug, the city living rug, and I used like a white creamy swatch. But now I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, I could have used the orangey kind of tan color, because I think it brings out more of the yellow and orange in the room. So with the bathroom, it comes together pretty quickly. I used the Parenthood shower and bath combo. I think this is the shower and tub combo that I use the most recently, because I prefer the swatches. The other one, the base game one that comes with like the glass slidey doors kind of thing, I feel like it's just too, I think for the price that it is in the game, it just doesn't make sense. Because to me, a bath shower tub combo like that should be a lot cheaper. I feel like the Parenthood one should be around the same price as it as well. But we definitely need some more shower tub combos that are like different levels of like contemporary and like a bit more modern and like outdated. We just don't have enough. I'd say that we just don't have enough. But yeah, the hallways, not a lot happened in the hallways. I literally just put an accent table and a plant on there, and then again I just moved that notice board with all the bits and bobs hanging off of it in that section, because maybe there's like the local events or just like house rules, whatever, I'm not sure, but I just thought it made sense to go in there. And there was nothing happening in the hallways other than the stairs and doors to each room, so I thought, you know, might as well add in something there. I always make sure I try to play test my builds. Sometimes I forget, sometimes I don't have a sim available, and especially for builds like this where it's not a residential, there's like, I had to make it a residential to like add the sim. Well, I actually made it generic actually, and then added the sim and playtest it. But I do playtest my builds just to make sure they work. But yeah, this is me just copying all the rooms. I did copy the bathroom. I wasn't sure if I did then, but I did. And just move things around because it's a different shape, I don't think it's that much of a different size. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same size, it's just different layout, so I just move things around. And then I do the same with the bedrooms, I just copy them, move them around. So I don't think I do much else. I don't know, I just gulped so much then. But I don't think I do much else after I copy the rooms and like tweak them. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. By the time you're watching this, I would have already finished streaming, but I'm about to start streaming soon, and I stream every Thursday and Friday. I don't know why my mind went blank there, but yeah, I stream every Thursday and Friday if you didn't already know. The link for my Twitch is in the description. It's just Sabythesimmer. So on Fridays I do Sims content. On Thursdays I try and do a bit of varieties in terms of the games that I play. So I'm currently playing Unravel on Thursdays, and then on Saturday I'm tempted to start a new thing on Friday with the Sims. I don't know if I'm going to do like a gameplay. I'm not sure yet, but I'm toying with the idea of either doing the what do you call it, the occult baby challenge. I'm tempted to start that on Fridays, but I'm gonna see how I feel on Friday, see what is going on, because I started renovating a build that I put up in the gallery years ago, like one of my OG builds. That's what I'm currently renovating on Fridays. But yeah, let me wrap up. If you want this build, it is up in the gallery. My gallery ID is Sabythesimmer. And if you liked this video, please do leave a like, leave a comment as well. Let me know what your favorite pack is. One of mine is definitely Discover University. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do, so you don't miss a video every Thursday and Tuesday. I said that backwards, but anyway, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.